entitled titled is the Oakland Army Base Redevelopment the Future Coliseum Template. Grassroots wins could shape billion-dollar plans. And my thought was, if this is the model, West Oakland is going to be dead because we seem to have sank into this place where Oakland, you have groups of Oaklanders frustrated with the slow pace of development, but doing what they know how to do, which basically has to focus on their needs, understandable. But because it's trapped, what their collective works are trapped within what they know, what they get are plans that, from a standpoint of implementation, never really work. What does everybody want down there but development? So, where is the magic component? Subsidies to attract businesses so that the residents and workers can have new economic wealth to divide in the area to help themselves. That's the missing piece of the plan. These folks act like, oh, it's there already and we're not getting it, but we know it's there. And the reality is, business after business after business after business has left. If you grow a business in Oakland right now, its lifespan is shorter than ever because the city has forgotten how to do what we used to call business retention. Business retention is making sure you have enough money to help a business through subsidization, through tax increment financing. And it's not being, that's not happening. That's simply not happening. And the the fact of the matter is that Oakland has divided into these subgroups of nonprofits and weed dispensaries and just sort of makeshift uh, places to live that really mark the fact that we haven't licked the high housing cost problem. We just haven't. And so you have to ask, at what point are we just going to say, okay, this isn't working and we have to try something else? And and then discover that the something else they need to try is to establish enhanced infrastructure financing districts, something I've talked about again and again and again, so much you're undoubtedly, tired of me saying it, and actually have a coordinated series of plans of subsidy for businesses, and then a team, an economic development team, actually go out and get those businesses, go out and make it so that those businesses um, realize a place where they can establish themselves as a going concern at cost, find their customer base, and sell their wares. That's a logical development for any business. But they can't expect to come into Oakland, spend their own money, and do it. They're going to need the help of government. Oakland used to do that with tax increment financing, and then Oakland stopped doing it. Oakland stopped doing it. And so, when are we going to realize a change in our approach and say, you know what? We used to just do the plans, but we're not actually going out to the International Council of Shopping Center Spring Convention, for example, in Las Vegas, and selling Oakland like we used to do. We're not going and meeting our potential partners where they are in other nations. We're not making ourselves known. What do we have? How does a person find out? Where's the website? Okay. Is there a website where I can see these different land opportunities in Oakland? Nope, there isn't. Not, none. And yet we expect all of this to materialize, and it's not going to. That's completely wild how we thought about it. Hold on a second, folks. I'm just going to put this on social media for it's just absolutely sad and mad of late. It started with Howard Terminal after we had the change in administration from Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf to Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao, and it's just gotten worse. And it's gotten worse with a worsening economy. Government has to be the instrument that literally builds the mechanism, tax increment financing, that works against the tide. Oakland used to do that. We stopped doing it. We stopped doing that. Okay? We just stopped doing that. And so, what does it take to change? I think somebody's got to put this on the council agenda and say, hey, you know what? Here's an idea. Here's what we're going to do. And yet, that something doesn't get done at all. Yeah, something doesn't get done at all. Yeah, something doesn't get done at all. So we need an economic plan. We still don't have one. I contacted our economic development office, the department, now 2 years ago. They had put out an RFP for a consultant, but guess what? No consultant answered the RFP to make an economic plan. So they said they were going to do it in-house. It hasn't been released. It has not been released. So we are rudderless when it comes to running our economy. Oakland is. Oakland is rudderless. We've got to get off the schneid, as my friend Randy Gordon would say, and really get to work in forming an implementable plan that includes identifying businesses to go after and getting them to Oakland, and having a plan of subsidy. We have to spend money to make money. We're afraid to do that. We have to stop being afraid to do that, all right? We're in a big mess, what's going on here with this is intellectual malaise. This we can't do it because we don't have any money approach, when we, point of fact, really can get the money through tax increment financing. We're not Jack Bull determined to make true change in Oakland at an obvious level. An obvious level is build, okay? Have the cranes a popping, build. Now you would say, what about controlling cost of living? And I would say the way we get around that is by building more and more dwellings that have affordable units to live in, but designed in such a way that if people want to interconnect so that they have more space, they can do that. We can make this work. We have to be determined enough. I don't believe that we are determined enough. I think we're frustrated. Frustration doesn't necessarily lead to determination. It also leads to depression, the feeling that no matter what you do, nothing will change. We can change the situation in Oakland. And it has to start with us and government at the same time. All right. Okay? Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com. We'll see you.